Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I welcome you to the new lecture of class 10th Pakistan Studies, that is from chapter number 6 History of Pakistan part 2. As you know students, we are doing the question number 10, narrate the important events of Prime Minister Mia Nawaz Sharif's government. In previous lecture we have learned the first time period of Nawaz Sharif government, and in this lecture we are going to learn the second term or second time period of Nawaz Sharif government. The first time period of Nawaz Sharif government was the November 1990 to July 1993. Then 1993 to 1996 it was the government of Benazir Bhutto. Then we come to the second term of the government of Nawaz Sharif, that is from 1990 February 1997 to October 1999. In the picture you can see he is taking oath as the Prime Minister of Pakistan in February 1997. The first important event of the second term is the resignation of Justice Sajjad Ali Shah and Farooq Ahmed Laghari. When government came into being in February 1997, immediate after 1 month, differences developed between the Chief Justice of Pakistan at that time and Nawaz government. The confrontation, the dispute wasn't resolved until the army intervened and Chief Justice had to resign at that time from his office. Later on, the President of Pakistan at that time, Farooq Ahmed Laghari, also resigned from the presidency of the Pakistan and had to left the office. Second point is Justice retired Rafiq Tar elected as a president of Pakistan. As you know, Farooq Ahmed Laghari has resigned from the office. So now Justice Rafiq Tar was elected as a president against the Aftab Shaban Mirani of the People's Party in December 1997. Means the second candidate at that time at the seat of presidency was Aftab Shaban Mirani, but Justice Rafiq Tar won this election and became the president of Pakistan. Okay, student. Third point is retired debt adorn the country scheme. Retired debt means to finish the debt or borrow, and adorn the country scheme. Adorn mean to make good, to make betterment. Economic condition at that time in the country was not improving, and government was taking much step to do this. But they take loans from the IMF, International Monetary Fund from its budgets. Nawaz Sharif started a scheme at that time called Retired Debt and Adorn the Country scheme. He at that time appealed to the nation to give some funds to the to pay off the foreign loans from the which taken from the IMF. The nation welcomed this scheme, welcomed this plan, and at that time about 17 billion rupees were collected till June 1999 in this head. At that time nation stood with the government as well. Next, fourth point is right of vote to Pakistanis abroad. Students, as you know, some of our family members are living in the abroad countries, the foreign countries, and they are earning from there, but they are still Pakistani national. So at that time, the government gave them right to vote for the Pakistanis living in foreign countries which developed interest in them for Pakistan. It was actually to develop the interest that they can also have part or participate in the voting or election system of the Pakistan, and they can take also interest in their country to feel their responsibility as the citizen of Pakistan. Number fifth is restriction on floor crossing. This is very important point at that time. It was actually a 14th amendment in 1973 constitution. What is amendment? Students, as you already know, amendment is the changing to change something in the constitution. So it was the 14th amendment in 1973 constitution. What is floor crossing? Floor crossing means a member, elected member of the assembly is bound to give the vote of confidence only to their leader of the party member. Means if you belong to a people's party, then you have to give vote of confidence to the only leader of the people's party, violator to be considered to be expelled from the party. If he or she does not give to the vote to the leader or violate this amendment, then they will expelled from the party, they will leave the party. So It was the restriction on floor crossing that they cannot give vote to the another leader of the another party. Another important event which occurred in the time period of Nawaz Sharif was the census of 1998. What is census? To count the population of the country. At that time, the population of the country had reached to more than 13 crore people accordingly. Means at that time when census occurred in 1998, the people or the population of Pakistan was almost 13 crore. Number seventh is the announcement of an education policy. At that time, the Federal Minister of Education was Said Ghaus Ali Shah, announced a new education policy in 1998 for the betterment of the academic sections or academic institutions in the country, and according to that, it is aimed at opening many new academic institutions in the country. Many new academies, many new schools, colleges, universities were built at that time in the country for the better education system in Pakistan. Lahore Islamabad motorway. It is a very crucial or important event in the history of Pakistan. The longest Lahore Islamabad motorway of South Asia was a great achievement of Mian Nawaz Sharif's government. The scheme was framed in a first term, means it was actually started or designed in his first term, but its completed was in executed or it was completed in the second time period of Nawaz Sharif. Mian Nawaz Sharif himself inaugurated the motorway ceremony in 1998. As you see, students, we are doing many important events. Another important event at that time was the repeal of clause 58 2b from the 1973 constitution. As you know, 58 2b of the constitution is to give the president the power to dissolve the national assembly at any time and to remove the prime minister at that time from the assembly. It was actually the 13th amendment, and it was to remove from the 1973 constitution by the Nawaz government with the support of opposition through 13th amendment powers. Means at that time this clause was finished from the 1973 constitution. Now president have no power to eliminate or to remove the prime minister or dissolve the national assembly. Number 10 is atomic blasts. This is a very important factor in the history of Pakistan, and it showed to the world that Pakistan is a powerful state. Nawaz Sharif's government actually shattered the dreams of superiority of India in the atomic field by doing atomic blasts on 28th May 1998. On 28th May 1998, Pakistan became the atomic power in the world, first Islamic country which have the atomic power, and became the equal in power between the India as well. Another important point is Lahore Declaration. At that time, the Prime Minister of India was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who visited Lahore by bus with the message of goodwill and peace. He toured Lahore from the bus and he was actually giving the message of peace. At that time, Mia Muhammad Nawaz Sharif welcomed him at Wagah border, which is the India-Pakistan border. Both leaders announced many plans to normalize the relations, to have good relations with each other. A joint communique or a joint agreement was signed between both of the prime ministers at that time, which is called the Lahore Declaration, and it is very important declaration in the history of Pakistan. At that time, the WAPDA, as you know, Water and Power Development Authority, actually is working for the electricity of the whole country in the Pakistan, was giving through loss in at that time and corruption. WAPDA at that time was handed over to the army by the government to root out its to or to finish out its corruption and to reduce load shedding in 1999. No encouraging result although was produced at that time, but the entry of army was into the WAPDA was for sure. Kargil attack or Kargil War 1999. In 1999, a war broke out between the Pakistan and India on Kargil. Kargil is the border between Pakistan and India. Later on, an intervention between Pakistan and India occurred by the American president at that time, Bill Clinton. he announced both the countries, he declared to the both the countries for the ceasefire. Means he said you have to stop this war, and this war ended with no results. The removal of Nawaz Sharif government. In this slide, we will learn how the Nawaz Sharif government was removed from at that time. General Pervez Musharraf was the army chief at that time in the country. He removed the democratic government of Nawaz Sharif and took over the powers of the country on 12th October 1999. The plane hijack case was actually planned of the Nawaz Sharif, but he was sent to the imprisonment and was declared unfit for the public post by the special courts of army. On the intervention of Saudi government came to the front. He was sent to the exile to the Saudi Arabia. Means Nawaz Sharif sent to the at that time to the Saudi, and he was actually exiled. Means he was actually exited from the Pakistan or from the country. The differences between the Nawaz Sharif and the Pervez Musharraf actually started from the Kargil War, because it was a loss and it was a misunderstanding between both the parties. Okay, student, we have completed this question, and now we are going to revise or review the question what we have learned today. Number one, we have discussed the resignation of that time Chief Justice of Pakistan Sajjad Ali Shah, and the President Farooq Ahmad Laghari is resigned from the office. Then Justice retired Rafiq Ahmed Tarar elected as the President of Pakistan in 1997. Then a retired debt add-on the country scheme was introduced in Pakistan. Through that, it was appealed to the nation to collect the fund for the country's betterment. Then the right of vote of Pakistani abroad, means the Pakistanis living in abroad have the right to vote for the Pakistan to feel the responsibility and take the interest for the betterment of Pakistan. Then the restriction on floor crossing, it was the 14th amendment in the constitution of 1973. According to that, it was a restrict on the party members to was bound to give vote to confidence to the only elected party leader at that time, and they cannot give vote to the leader of any other party. Then the census 1998 was occurred in the country. According to that, at that time the population of the country was 13 crore. Then the announcement of education policy, at that time the federal minister of education Saeed Ghaus Ali Shah announced a new policy for the better education in the country. Number 8, we have learned the Lahore Islamabad motorway. It was actually a project started in the first term of Nawaz Sharif government but ended in the second term of Nawaz Sharif government, and it was inaugurated by the himself Nawaz Sharif in 1998. Number 9, the repeal of clause 58 2b from the 1973 constitution, means this clause was ended from the constitution in the second era of Nawaz Sharif government, and the now president have no power to eliminate or finish the National Assembly or Prime Minister. Number 10, the atomic blasts, which are very important in the era of the second time period of Nawaz Sharif. On 28th May 1998, the atomic blasts were occurred and Pakistan became the atomic power in the world. Then Lahore Declaration, it was very important event. At that time, the Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee visited the Lahore and Pakistan, you can say, and Nawaz Sharif welcomed him, and many projects were signed at that time. Many agreements were signed at that time, and it is called the Lahore Declaration. Then the entry of army into the Wapta. The Wapta was going into the laws to control the situation. Government handed over this section to the army at that time. Then Kargil attack. Number 13. In 1999, a war broke out on the border of Kargil between Pakistan and India, and intervention of American President Bill Clinton declared the ceasefire at that time in the Pakistan and India. Then at last we have discussed the removal of Nawaz Sharif government. After that, the martial law was imposed in the country by the General Pervez Musharraf. He removed the government of Nawaz Sharif on 12th October 1999 and sent him to the imprisonment. After that, he was sent to exile to the Saudi Arabia, and this is how the second time period of Nawaz Sharif ended. Okay, students, we have completed this question. This is your diary. Learn all the points of today's lecture. Also revise the previous part of question 10 as well. For better understanding, I will again suggest you to watch this video 2-3 times to have good concepts. Thank you.